after the meeting today, where we said that our conscious strategy therefore has to be very friendly to the people in the valley, but not soft on the separatist at all. Therefore, the more we are, and the kind of interaction the Indian political systems had with the people, I don't think people have realized the connotation of what, whether economically or geographically or in the present geopolitical situation, any such separate state itself or a nation state is possible. They haven't realized, they haven't even thought of the consequences. It's those angry reactions after an incident of confrontation which takes place. So the Indian state has to make sure this doesn't happen. Even provocations at times have to be ignored, but at times all provocations cannot be ignored. But I can tell you that as far as India is concerned, any Indian government or the Prime Minister has no mandate to bargain with the boundaries of India. And therefore, a situation where the world would accept redrawing of global boundaries, as far as any country is concerned, I think we've far crossed that situation. And therefore, India firmly believes that it's a part of the Indian state, and merely because Pakistan tries conventional war, it tries cross-border terrorism, it tries internal sabotage, I don't think can be a provocation enough for India to agree to yield any part of its territory.
Just add a very small point. As you are no doubt aware, the state of Jammu and Kashmir comprises 3 divisions. There is Ladakh, there is Jammu, and there is the valley. So I think it is important to treat Jammu and Kashmir as a composite entity and not get kind of completely swayed by the situation in the valley, where it is very clear, and Mr. Jaitley has elaborated at some length, as to the designs from across the border to try and separate the valley from the rest of the state. Now, this is something which is, in India, everybody regards, and people, even the valley, are not reconciled to this kind of attempt to tear out the valley from the rest of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which has a long history of composite culture. And while no doubt what Mr. Jaitley has pointed out, that sometimes provocations have to be ignored, but beyond the point, maybe sometimes you cannot ignore the provocation. Keeping that as a tactic in mind, strategically, those who believe that the Indian state has not been very fair, I think they need to look at this whole situation and examine that what alternatives would work in the kind of geopolitical realities that prevail in the region. Afghanistan and Pakistan on the one side, China and the Xinjiang province on the other, Tibet on the other, Jammu and Kashmir sandwiched between this highly volatile and disturbed area. And I think India is in that sense acting as a sentinel for peace in a region that is so deeply disturbed and affected. And I think global peace in our present times will depend a great deal on how things play out in Jammu and Kashmir, where India is on the side of peace.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Yes, sir.
Kumar from Amnesty International. Thank you, Mr. Jaitley, for an excellent presentation. You did not speak much about China's role in the neighborhood. You've spent a lot of time on Pakistan. Of course, everyone is aware of China-Pakistan relationship, but their influence in, say, Nepal, Burma, and Sri Lanka. Is that of concern to you? That's one question. The second is more domestic. As you are aware, the corruption scandal is pretty much rocking the current government now. You have taken some non-parliamentary measures. Have you ever thought of bringing a no-confidence motion on that issue? Just a thought. Thanks.
Well, let me straight away answer the second question first. I have serious issues with the present government in India on those issues, but I have no intention of either expressing my confidence or no confidence in the government outside India. Here I'd rather avoid speaking on those subjects. But as far as China is concerned, I did make, you're right, a small reference, really for paucity of time. There are two sets of issues as far as India and China is concerned. One, of course, we are neighbors. China is a hugely growing economy, becoming very powerful world over. It has an important role in the region also. And India and China are in dialogue on many issues, and we are developing a commercial business relationship with each other. So that's one part of the relationship which is hugely growing. So our engagement in those areas is proving to be fruitful. We have various kinds of dialogues with China also. But then we have a history of problems. And our boundary issues are still not settled. We set up a mechanism in 2003. The mechanism continues to be placed, but the response has not been very positive. China, of late on several issues around our border, even relating to within our country, has becoming a little assertive. And this has been noticed in the last 2 years particularly. We are certainly concerned with this. And then in the larger geopolitical situation, particularly what's happening in Pakistan, obviously they consider they may have a future role to play, and a lot would depend on how the relationship between the United States and Pakistan itself grows. We are conscious of that, and therefore being fully conscious of that and being two very large states in the region, I think engagement with each other is the obvious answer. Beyond that, what is to be done really, these are issues which concern the larger global community. It concerns us in the region also. And therefore we have, as Government of India has, we in the Indian political system have our strong opinion on several issues. But at the same time, we are continuing that process of engagement with China, and we do hope we are able to resolve some of those issues with China. The United States also is conscious of several issues, but then US also has consciously followed that policy of consistent engagement with China over the years, and that engagement has increased in many areas.
Mr. Jaitley, thank you very much for your presence here today, for your presentation. Gentlemen, thank you as well. Clearly, one of the issues that was on everyone's mind was the nuclear deal, and the point that you made, and was actually made implicitly by some of the others in the questions, is that in this strategic partnership between the United States and India, is that as we do that, we're going to find multifaceted in other areas in the past that we didn't cooperate in, and this is going to give us opportunities and openings, and it's also going to create friction in some areas that we didn't even talk about before. And military relations is one of them. No one mentioned Iran, for example, where we have some differences of opinion, but this is part of the maturity or the maturation process of the relationship, something we very much believe in here at the Heritage Foundation, which is why we invited you here today and why we're so pleased that all of you attended. We have a small token of our appreciation here for all three of you. It's a Heritage Foundation tie. Forgive the shameless self-promotion. It's a gift for you, but it's also something that gives us most of the guests. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, thank you.